Moon gang, hello. What is going on? Happy Thursday afternoon, or if we are still in that mindset of a double Friday scenario, happy Friday number 1 afternoon. Let's get right into it. So happy to be back. So in between streams, Robinhood ended up IPOing, and man, what a wild ride it's been on. It opened up at 38, shot up to 40.22, came down to 33.35, ran back up to 38, which is where it opened. That was resistance, came down. Now it's barely holding on to 36. If it bounces here, I would expect another test of 38. And if it breaks below, I think it's just going to fall back down to the mid to low 33s. So let's see how this one actually ends up panning out. But could be thoroughly interesting to say the least. All right. I think I'm allowed to say this. I think I am. Well, I don't know. Secrets are no fun. Secrets are for everyone. So whether I am or I'm not allowed to tell you this, I'll be on Fox this evening in the 5 p.m. slot to talk about Robinhood, its IPO, and basically the Ape Nation's opinion on Robinhood. So that's going to be happening at 5 p.m. Eastern, talking about Robinhood, Fox Business, just so everyone knows about that. I think I'm allowed to say it. Why would I not? Of course. Am I like freaking myself out now? Of course they would want more viewers to know about it. I don't know. Shadow banned hard this afternoon. Maybe. I don't know if that happens. It happens. Well, if you want to help me out, hit that like button. It'll help with the algorithm. I'm bummed out when it says that that type of stuff. I don't know what to do about it. It is, if people are shadow banned, they're shadow banned. Actually, this shadow banning thing and the termination, as like a creator on my side, it's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating that those types of things can possibly happen. And that's why I've been like seriously considering these other things. And the ones I hear about the most of at least worthwhile for me to look into are, Rumble and DLive. And I guess the other one's Odyssey. I think those are the three. I would have to I guess just double check with that. But actually, hang on. We have people in here. We have enough people in here. So why don't we do a little bit of poll situation and see what everyone likes the most? I know a lot of you are it's just easy to use YouTube. Everyone's comfortable with YouTube. It's the biggest video, say, software community, I don't know, out there. YouTube is obviously dominant, but it's just so frustrating on this side. So I want to find out something where I can just do it multiple. So in case I go down on one, directly when it happens live, I basically want to be able to stream to multiple things at once, opposed to hopping back and forth. Well, I'll have to figure that out. Basically, what I'm planning on doing, so with Twitch, that's tough because they don't like when you're streaming to both at once. I want to find one where I can stream to YouTube and another platform simultaneously. So my plan this weekend is to make an account on all of them and try it out. People have been telling me about Rumble. I hear Rumble the most. I do not have a Rumble account. I only recently went on the website for the first time. So I want to check out Rumble. I want to check out Odyssey. I want to check out DLive. Those are probably the three I hear of the most, just to see if it's possible. And I'm not saying that I'm going to quit YouTube. Like I said, I want to simultaneously stream on multiple platforms. It just helps with things like discoverability, like if you're getting shadow banned or anything like that. So if one of them is being weird, at least I have the shot with the other one. Someone said, please don't. Folks, I'm just saying simultaneously. I'm not saying ditch this one. I'm saying I want to stream to two things at once. If people are on here and they like this the best, you're more than welcome to stay here. I don't want to leave. It's like I said, this is more of a fail-safe redundancy type thing where I'm at least live in two different places at one time. Someone just said Rumble in the jungle. And then it's fun because I could say Rumble in the jungle. So people are saying use Twitch. That's tough because Twitch doesn't like when you stream to that and something else. Like Twitch wants you to only be on Twitch if you're streaming, and really they don't like. The issue is like kind of their terms of service. If you stream to Twitch and you're an affiliate, they don't want you streaming somewhere else simultaneously. That is against their terms of service. I checked the terms. I think Twitch, you aren't allowed to do that. That's exactly what I'm saying. You're not allowed to do that. It says OnlyFans. So just live stream to my OnlyFans. I'll be figuring out. That's what I'm going to do this weekend. Trying to figure out just some other potential options. But to make this very clear, I'm not saying leave YouTube. I want to look for multiple streams at once. That's what I'm looking for. I haven't been on Odyssey yet, but I'm seeing more people say Odyssey. Actually, hang on. Can I do a 3-poll thing? Let me see. Hang on. Let me ask you. I'll turn it over to you, Apes, if it lets me. Oh, hang on. Why is my is it gonna let me type? Am I frozen? I see these numbers are changing. Am I getting frozen in chat, folks? All right. All right. Rumble. Is that how you spell Odyssey? Never hooked on phonics as a child. I guess I was just always out to lunch. And then just trying to add an option. This is going very slow. Very slow. D live. Where else should I add content? Ask your community. Hey, that's you guys. A community of apes. Twitch only has a problem with dual streaming if you're an affiliate. I am an affiliate on Twitch, so that's where the problem kind of starts. I stream multiple platforms at once through restream.io. This is done all the time. DM me and I can help you. Thank you. My skills are yours. Hey, I really appreciate that. Whereas I'm just trying to figure out which ones to restream to, or like to do a dual multi-stream to. Oh, DLive has a hyphen. I guess OnlyFans. I don't know if OnlyFans has their streaming set up. Maybe they do. Do you think DraftKings will go up with this season? It kind of depends on, I guess, how strong sports betting is. And overall, I am pretty bullish on sports betting. Like that sports betting ecosystem. DraftKings, I know FanDuel isn't publicly traded, but I'm bullish on that. Penn, because Penn owns Barstool. Barstool has sports books in various states. So as more and more states legalize it, I think it's going to do better and better. Maybe I'm being just optimistic, but it's hard to see why. It's hard to see how sports betting, online sports betting, doesn't take off. All right. Jerry Morris. So is Rumble, like, I've been hearing this thing okay, here's my question about Rumble. Is Rumble intentionally political, or is it ending up becoming right-leaning because you have right-leaning people who get kicked off of other forums and they just end up there? To what I searched of the CEO and the investors in that stuff, the people who run Rumble, like, they're not even, I don't even think they're Americans. To my understanding, it's a Canadian company. And it's just more of like when people get kicked off of things, and like it seems like people who are getting deplatformed are more so right leaning, they end up using Rumble because Rumble's not kicking those people off. So I don't know if their intent is actually to be right leaning. That's a good question. Maybe I could reach out to the team and see if they have ideas of getting more left leaning people on, because I'm not a politicalized person. I don't want to be political. That's not my goal in any way. It's just more of like, I'm thinking more of like a business move of my idea is I want Ape Nation to be as big as possible. So for Ape Nation to be as big as possible, that's when YouTube comes in. It's one of the biggest video streaming platforms. So that's advantageous. But do you know what's not advantageous is if I'm getting shadow banned, if I'm losing my turn, like my entire channel, if I'm getting terminated, like that's obviously also bad then. So it's just like a weird balancing act, I suppose. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Folks, no decisions are made. And I'm telling you though, with any decision made, I am not leaving YouTube. I need to make this very, very clear. It would just be adding on something else as a failsafe, but it doesn't mean me leaving YouTube at all. That's not what I'm saying. As I say that now, and then like YouTube's like gone. See you, kid. uh Thoughts on AMD? Do you think it'll keep running? I got 120 calls for January on the cheap last week. So if you're playing January 120s with its run, if I were you, ride the trend out. Ride. You got in a really good fill at a perfect time. Like you crushed that trade. AMD 120s for January. If I were yours in your like shoes, if I was wearing your pants, I'd be happy. I'd be rocking those pants. Matt, remember me? Check your Twitter DM right now. Pat's Funhouse. Sounds fun. Da da da. What a day, what a day. AMC at 38.75, GME at 166.27. Robinhood, like I said, watch it to hold 36. If it breaks below 36, I think it drops back down to the mid 33s. But let's see. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Pat's Funhouse. What is your Twitter? You said check your Twitter DM, but I don't know your Twitter name. You can stream multi-platform using theta.tv. They are decentralized and good content creators. The channel BitBoy is currently doing it. Okay, theta.tv. Theta.tv. All right, you guys are just giving me more to check out. You know, it's all good. Shout out, Jerry. Had to use Super Chat because you got lost in the mix. Use multiple cams, VPNs, safest bet to not cut out. Love the work you do. Latvian Ape, shout out. Latvia. Much love to Latvia. Feed ducks on OnlyFans. Some mag merch shipping to you tomorrow. Shout out, King Magnetic. Can you check Tesla? The old Tesla. I myself have a very intimate relationship with Tesla. Usually it involves me crying after it takes a bunch of my money. That's the type of one-way relationship I have with it's two-way. It's definitely a two-way relationship I have with Tesla. One direction is it taking my money, and then its direction is Tesla making me cry. So it's a two-way relationship I have going. Carl, so you're selling and quitting. Rumble is right leaning, so they do have other non-political platforms like a SpaceX, Apes to the Moon. Is free to driving? I don't think anything. YouTube is much more political than Rumble as a company. Yeah, like folks, I wish I was rich enough to have equity in YouTube or Rumble. I'm just trying to think of the best way to get the word out about Ape Nation and like continue my like random stories of Katie somewhere where I don't get in trouble for saying it. Because Folks, if we boil it down to its like absolute core, sometimes you are just out to lunch. That's life sometimes. Whatever it is, you're just out to lunch sometimes. And I don't want my out to lunch stories disappear. Katie, the one that got away. Add content to your Pinterest. Fee99 is my profile. I have the same goofy pic. Justin DM me to say, yo, AMC is definitely going up. Just so you know, Pat's Funhouse, make sure you're messaging the right person because I'm not seeing anything from you. Oh, here, got it. Got it. All right, I'm accepting it. Got it. Check out locals. We'll do locals. I'll put that on the list. So far, the list of what you guys are telling me is OnlyFans, which obviously I would have to have 2 OnlyFans accounts then. OnlyFans, Theta TV, local, Rumble, Odyssey, DLive. Let me know if there's any other ones that are popular amongst the kids these days. All right. Can you take a look at LTCH, please? LTCH. Whoa. It looks like it's trying to break out. If it holds above 13, look forward to run to 14. It's at resistance right now. I personally don't like entering at resistance. But if you get that breakout, nice run to 14. And from 14, you might have a gap fill all the way up to 1560. I have Latch. I don't know what this company does, but if you already have a position, you're looking pretty. I would not chase it now, though, because it's at resistance. Locals. You can stream multi-platform use. All right, Theta, got that. Thank you. You guys are always such a big help. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Hey, brother, I can help you with the duck call. Scared to say I'm a hunter. YouTube duck calling instructions. Was Katie hot at all? My girlfriend Kendall wants to know. Thanks for everything. My memory of her is that, I mean, I was just a youth, so I don't know if I was like at that point looking at her and judging her aesthetic value. Just Bradley. Oh, Bradley. Don't you know this, that all women are beautiful in their own way? She was beautiful in her own out to lunch manner. I'll leave it there. For someone whose dad's going out to lunch, she was beautiful. Is 5 dills a good price Robinhood stock? Javier dills. Black. Someone wants lithium. I mean, if you're trying to play lithium, the chart's been going nowhere. It's range bound. But if you think there's about to be some sort of lithium breakout, because there is a lithium shortage, might be a good play. I've never myself played LAC. Not the biggest fan of the chart, but if you like something going on fundamentally, rocket, man. 5. Javier, I'm not quite 5 is 5. I don't know what Javier. I'm not quite sure. That ticker isn't coming up for me. 5. Yeah, I'm not sure what stock that is. Feel free to let me know in a normal content. Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney over streaming conflicts. Very apish. Ooh. She's going full KGB on them, I suppose. She's going completely Dark Widow. Completely Dark Widow. My girlfriend Katie is crying, and I asked her what was wrong, and she told me you were talking trash talking her dad. So thanks a lot, Sam. Um, First of all, ask her just to calm down. That's where I would start that conversation. Like if she's all sorts of upset, just remember that like there's not really time for that in the day. I would say just hit her with a classic, good old fashioned calm down. But that reminds me of a story that happened, I don't know, like 2 hours ago. So there I was. Um, and I was eating some lunch today, doing, I don't know, Matt Kohrs things, and I had the Olympics on. And I was watching polo because apparently that's what I do with my life now. I watch water polo, which, first of all, don't let me get too far off track. How do people do water polo? How are there not more incidences of drowning? Like they're literally just in there, basically WWE under the water, throwing a ball at each other. I don't know how there aren't more water polo fatalities. But anyway, let's come back to my story. So there I was. And the like remote control, the channel changer, the TV clicker wasn't really doing anything. And my completely 100% real girlfriend was there. And she walked in front of the TV and it wasn't working. And I thought it would be funny. She just started talking to me. Like she didn't know how deep I was into this water polo match. So she started talking to me about like, I don't know, her day or something. And there I was with the remote. And I was like looking at her with the remote and I just started like clicking it. And she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm trying to see if I could lower the volume. And it took her like a split second. And then she realized I was like referring to her conversation with me. I was trying to like control it with a remote control, kind of like that Adam Sandler movie, Click or whatever it is, when he's in like a Bed Bath and Beyond. And first of all, don't do that. Because if you do that to your significant other, I'll tell you from firsthand experience, pissed. Pissed. She was irate. She's like, what are you trying to do? Because like she was just in the story and I was like seeing if it would like silence. It was a joke. It was a joke that was not received well. And it was not received well at all. Like I didn't even get like her. Usually I can do something crazy and bombastic and like she'll get mad, but like she'll smile a little bit. This one's not that. Not that at all. It was just straight up like anger. So I don't know. That's, folks, learn from me. This isn't just like once in a while we'll learn something about the markets and we'll be talking. I think you could learn a lot from me just in how I handle my own relationships. And I tested the waters on that to see, like, I like to be on the frontier of comedy. Like sometimes you have to push it and not everything's going to break in your favor. And this is one of those ones that's not going to break in your favor. And well, it depends on how I guess you're looking at it. Like I thought it was funny. And then her legitimate negative reaction made me think it was even more funny. So it depends on who you want to laugh. If you're looking to laugh, I would give it a whirl. But I don't think you should be expecting them to laugh. So it depends what your goal is. But just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. What do you think about BTBT? BTBT. Bete. Looks weird. It is, all right, it's getting rejected at the same level of like 940, 950, but higher lows. If you're in it, patience probably. If you're not in it, this isn't the time to get in because what would you risk? Like 580? Like, I don't know a good risk. I guess you could risk 735. My question is, okay, I see it. Well, the volume's also dying. It might break out. This is a high risk play. It's just, if you're okay with a high risk play, BT might go for you, bit digital, but I wouldn't be the most bullish on it. Can I get a B-Day shout out to my friend Harry? He loves your stream. That's a funny chat. Matt, why do I have margin in my account this morning on Robinhood, 25K in AMC, no margin all month today, wake up, 8K in margin? David, yeah, a lot of people are reporting that today with Robinhood. Whatever's going on with Robinhood, people got a lot more margin today for whatever reason. I passed my life insurance exams today, and you have taught me stonks in the downtime. Thanks for making this enjoyable. Happy to, Alex. Netflix is releasing their Leo DiCaprio movie in theaters before streaming. Great sign for streaming services seeing value in theatrical releases. That is good news. Shout out, Scott. I strictly refer to my spouse as wife. Thoughts on ChargePoint with new infrastructure deal passing the Senate? Um, well, I think it needs to pass more, right? Just in general on the infrastructure deal, or is that a done deal, Daniel? Specifically to ChargePoint, though, I mean, if we get this could be a W, the classic double bottom George W. 1, 2, 3. Like this might be the start of it. I would look for confirmation on that break above 26 and pray that it holds on to 22. So you have to be patient. Watch 22, watch 26, and that's how I would probably make decisions from that point. I think I'm up to date. I didn't know that Leo was making a new movie. I feel like Leo and I would get along, like just as people. Like I feel like we could hang out. If you're curious about why AMC has not been doing the most hot in the second part of the day, I would just take a look at IWM. We've gone from 224 down to 223. We're seeing a little bit of a sell-off. AMC, though, I mean, it's so close to that red-green move. You never know what power hour is going to bring. Plenty of time to not only go green, but go considerably green. So let's be calm, cool, collected with that one. Will Starlink be an exception? Yes, it will be, Lucas. I'm a big fan of Starlink. I'm a big fan of what it represents and what it could potentially mean. So yes. Oh, brother, thanks for all you do. I wanted to complain about my brokerage account selling my shares without any notice or data on why they sold out MELI because I owned AMC. V Smalls, is that what they said to you? That they, like, it sounds like you got some sort of a margin call or something. V Smalls sold out MELI because how do you know that they sold your MELI because you owned AMC? What's your brokerage? I'd like to share your brokerage just so other people. Dark pools are being discussed on Pain. Oh, that's something we could listen to. Hang on. Who's he speaking with? To Charles. Wait. Dark pools? Economy slows, rally quickens, earnings rock, Robinhood stumbles, workers chill, shadowy crypto supercoders, Zuckerberg's Wonderland. I'm not seeing. Wait, I'm not seeing anything about dark pools on today's. Has been hyped up. I don't see where it's talking about dark pools. Am I getting this wrong, folks? Is he talking about dark pools today? I see that Stephanie was on, but it looked like she was just talking about Robinhood. But that doesn't mean they were talking about dark pools. Um, my wife told me about this new hip trend where people are taping their mouth shut while they sleep so they can breathe through their nose to be healthy. I told her to try it during the day. It didn't go well, but I cried laughing. Oh, that's funny. Robinhood stock. Have you looked ahead to next week's earnings? Feel like they're like the addition to GME to S&P might be a gorgeous setup. Generally getting moved up to that when you're going from the Russell 1000 to the S&P 400 mid cap, that is generally a bullish move. And then the huge move would be going up into the S&P 500. 500,000 shares went out on loan. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wow, up to 5 million loaned out against AMC today. Short interest of 15.66%. That's a lot. GME net neutral 289 though. 13.87% short interest. Someone said that Charles is discussing dark pools right this minute. Let me see if I can find it. Fox. This. Hang on. Actually, let's go to this other channel. Where are we? What's that channel? Trades, clips. Usually they have it, and I could rewind if need be. Let me make sure I'm not blowing your ears out with audio. All right, here, we can listen to this part. Hang on, let me just get the audio set up for you. All right, here, let's check this out. Here we go. This is what was just said about Robinhood and on Charles Payne, Stephanie. Let me get this.
Making its public debut. Now, the company, it actually offered individual investors a lot more shares than normally offered, but also raised a lot of money with major risk, like the potential of action against order flow, payment for order flow. That could actually happen at some point. Now, some are saying that the stock is a proxy for the individual investor revolution. I do not buy that, and I didn't buy any of the stock either. Listen, I would love to see the company succeed, but I also want individual investors to be their real customers, right? Not the hedge funds who are often at odds with the very users of that platform. Founder of Stock Whisperer trading company, Stephanie Cameron, joins me now. And Stephanie, the build-up to this Robinhood IPO, I was kind of shocked. It was really over the top in my mind. It was painted, though, with the sort of same flowery nonsense that paying zero commissions is a gift to the individual investor. Your thoughts on the offering itself, and how important is it ultimately for their 22 million users to actually be their customers and come before hedge funds?
Hey there, Charles. Great to be back. Well, you know, order flow is not the best with them. So even with zero commissions, if you can't get your order filled, which happened with them several times, right, that's not so great. But if your retail traders want to make money off of trading Robinhood, I just wanted to tell you that there was a massive dark pool trade on Robinhood today. It was about $415 million trade at $38. So I would watch that level moving forward. You know, we're going to be bullish above and we're going to be bearish below. But as far as IPOs go, a lot of times they do get crushed over the next couple months. And the best time to actually trade the stock and buy the stock is after the lockdown period is over. If we see dark pool prints coming in, which is what we saw with Uber, if you recall, that is the best time to pick up the stock. At least we can make money off of Robinhood.
Yeah, and I think a lot of folks, a lot of individual investors, particularly those in the so-called ape community, are very leery after what they've gone through, and they're going to want to watch for extra reasons. Hey, I do want to, the last time you were on, you made some great points about the opaque nature of dark pools. Obviously, it invites nefarious behavior. I know it hasn't been long, but are there any updates about maybe the SEC looking into this, about someone actually doing something about it?
No, unfortunately, I haven't heard or read anything, Charles. And I'm going to tell you, I find it very disheartening. Yeah, it's not an easy battle.
Yeah. No, it's not an easy battle, and I hope that the public does not give up on it. Now, you just mentioned, we do know that there are ways to go into these dark pools, and if you know how to do it, which is what you do, a lot of money can be made. You just gave us an example of what's been happening. What are some of the other things that you're seeing? When these big buys come up in the dark pool, how long, like, you get ahead of them, you can get ahead of them and somehow still profit?
Well, it's hard to get ahead of them because they always go first, right? So what we like to do is we like to follow them. This is the institutional money flow. I mean, these are the big guys that are moving the entire stock market or a specific sector. And, I follow the unusual trades. There's a lot of dark pool trades, but it's really important to focus on unusual stuff. And I just happened to spot something very unusual. And I've been doing this 27 years in the gold sector. They used a specific ETV, which is highly unusual rather than an ETF, to get into a very large gold position. And we are starting to move up now. So I absolutely love gold. In fact, I wrote a whole book on how to profit off the dark pool.
Okay. Yeah, I know that. That's why we bring you on for that. And of course, your other market expertise, Stephanie. Thank you so much. And we'll keep checking back with you. This is a fight that I hope nobody gives up on. Meanwhile, millennial investors, they initially started pouring into the market because of the marijuana stocks. You remember back in 2000.
Well, there's that. Not really a little bit about Robinhood, but I was looking a little bit more for like specific mechanical things going on with dark pools. And that didn't seem to be the topic of this particular discussion, but she did mention there was a big dark pool block trade at 38 on Robinhood. She mentioned she would be bullish on Robinhood above 38 and bearish on it below. Obviously, right now we are $2 below. Robinhood down 4.89% on the day. I'm telling you, I strongly feel from a technical perspective, if it cannot hold right here, right around 36, maybe 35.75, somewhere in that 25-cent range, I think we go right back down to the mid 33s. It looks like the market at large is selling though right now. IWM coming down, AMC coming down, GME coming down, Robinhood coming down. How's the SPY looking? SPY also starting to come down. So as we head into power hour across the spectrum, it looks like there's some weakness. Let's get this up. Robinhood. Looks like Robinhood, volatile open, V-shaped thing going on. Perfect rejection at its opening price of 38. And now it's like slowly drifting sideways, a little bit down. I'm definitely not in Robinhood. If I had to play it, I would have bet against it. But I didn't even do that. I have no Robinhood position. People were talking about it. I saw so many jokes about just basically along the lines of trying to reach out to Citadel to figure out how to properly naked short it. Okay, hang on. There's this poll is over now. Hang on, let me see this. Where are we at? Let's end this poll. All right, let's see these results coming in. I want to know what they were. Rumble 65%, Odyssey 18%, and DLive 15%. So out of 3,000 votes, it looks like Rumble was more popular. Stephanie actually started at one of the oldest hedge funds left. I don't think Dave knows more. I think all dark pools have rules that we aren't going to know until the SEC really investigates. I don't know much about Stephanie's beginning, so I don't know if I could like fairly comment on it, but I do know different dark pools actually have different rules. There's about 40 major dark pools, and they not all dark pools have the same set of rules. Some dark pools, for example, and it goes way deeper than this, some dark pools are open to the public. Like you and I could trade on it if we wanted to. I mean, like in the US, certain brokerages such as Interactive Brokers allow you to route to a dark pool. That's possible. But then there's other dark pools that are private and you have to be like a member, and they can pick their members on how they want. So I just want everyone to know that, like, even though dark pools are less regulated, some of those less regulated ones actually have their own different set of rules because apparently they can make different rules as they like want to go, which is like another absurd thing about dark pools. Scarlett Johansson sues Disney Plus for streaming Black Widow at the same time the movie theater. Thoughts? Okay, so this is what some people are talking about right here. Disney sued by Black Widow star Scarlett Johansson over movie streaming release, report says. Black Widow was Disney's biggest film yet to hit theaters and Disney Plus at the same time, but Johansson's suit claims the dual release violated her contract and cut how much she was paid. Disney is being sued by Black Widow star Scarlett Johansson over the company's decision to sell the Marvel blockbuster on its streaming service Disney Plus simultaneously with its release in the theaters, the Wall Street Journal reported Thursday. Well, I kind of want to see the main thing here. So she filed the lawsuit on Thursday, as in today. Okay, this was actually happened today. I didn't know if it happened last night. Disney intentionally induced Marvel's breach of agreement without justification in order to prevent Ms. Johansson from realizing the full benefit of her bargain with Marvel. Well, I want to know the drama. Give me the numbers. Warner Media chose to renegotiate many of its talent contracts, like Ms. Johansson's deal with Marvel were tried at the box office performance. Warner Bros. Paid more than $200 million to the talent as part of its amended agreements. But where are the numbers, though? Some analysts and executives in Hollywood questioned whether making the movie easy to watch at home was hurting box office results. The National Association of Theater Owners, a lobbying group for exhibitors, called for the performance disappointing. All right, that doesn't sound too good. So overall, it sounds like, and I could get some of the details on it a little bit later, but she's suing because she says it's a breach of contract, the fact that it went to a theatrical debut simultaneously with a streaming release. And obviously she's not happy with the streaming release aspect of it. I'm assuming it costs her millions of dollars. Huh. Internally, some executives at Disney worried that an at-home release would tarnish the overall appeal of the Marvel brand, which has produced the biggest offerings in Hollywood over the past several years. You know, I've never thought about this aspect of it, of like obviously Disney, who like has their streaming service, but they also own Marvel. I guess maybe the opportunity cost of it. I mean, I see that. I never thought of it, but damaging the Marvel brand. Interesting. Interesting. Well, if you want to check it out, Wall Street Journal seems to be the first one who reported on it. Huh. I want to know the money, though, that she's saying it cost her. I would assume it's millions of dollars. If I had to guess. Just a guess. Hang on. Someone just said this is turning into a tabloid show. What? I mean, we're talking. This is the internet. We were talking about an actress who's part of a huge movie brand and a streaming company. Obviously, that directly relates to AMC. It's not like I was reading a story about how Ben Affleck and whoever, what's her name? Jennifer, whoever, Lopez, right? What's her name? They're back together. I don't even know. As if I'm a tabloid person. If you can't see the connection between talking about that and then also AMC, I mean, I don't know what you want me to do. 50 million. Whoa. What's her name? She was just dating the baseball player. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. Nailed it. How did I not remember her name? That's bad. But yeah, They're reviving Bennifer, reported 2 days ago. So that's tabloid. That's the tabloid portion of this show. I hope it works out for them. I hope they find happiness. But it still costs $29.99 to stream Black Widow on Disney Plus. I would spend less than that at AMC for myself unless her contract excludes Disney Plus revenue. I would assume that's part of the issue, that her money is probably tied to theaters and not Disney Plus or something along that, because why else would that has to be the part that pisses her off. 6969, love you, Matt. Shout out JP Stone. We might hit it today if people went home and practiced last night and focused on it. Okay, we will let you take a long lunch if you just leave the stream up so we can chat amongst the apes. Can't expect you to work all day. Mr. Dallas Jackman, that's what we did, and it's on the Matt. We did do that. It's just on the other channel, the midday session. It's on the Matt Kohrs clips. I think it's the first link in the description, but that's what we started today, and we just have some background lo-fi music. Can you let me know in chat if you were if you checked that out and if you liked it or not? If you liked the midday stream of just some lo-fi music. I had AMC, GME, and Robinhood's chart up. Same deal, 6969 as yesterday? Yeah, if you want, not a hedge fund. Hey, Matt, how do you feel about the ape father calling you out to prove you're an ape? I just wanted you to know. I can say this in all honesty. I do know who he is, but I've not seen that video at all. Honestly, I haven't even really watched any full video. I just don't know. This drama thing of the ape father calling me out. Don't know how he did or didn't call me out. And I'm not going to respond. I have no idea even what it's about. Variety said it cost her $50 million in bonuses. Holy guacamole. If something cost me $50 million, I'd be I'd also be pretty upset. I'll be honest about that one. I'd be pretty upset. All right, Hood looks like it's about to snap, folks. Here, let's right here. Let's see if it goes below 35.68. I'm in. You see my DM about how we can pick winners. I did not see that. Not a hedge fund. I'll have to check it out. Midday stream needs more chair. I think we can make that work. We can make that work. A little bit more chair action. It was great and all. There just needs to be more chair. Can you Ortex WISA? Yes, I can. Ortex. WISA. Nope, I should spell it right. That's probably how this works. WISA, Summit Wireless Technologies. I'm assuming you want the short interest, and it has no considerable short interest, 3.98%. So it doesn't seem like it's a viable short squeeze play. 6969 Ken Griffin's locker combo. 50 million. That's insane. All right. I have a feeling you're about to see Robinhood get crushed in Power Hour. If the scenario of it breaks below 35.68. GME currently trading at 165.60, down 2% on the day. AMC turning at 38.51, down 1% on the day. I went to JLo's 50th at Gloria Estefan's mansion 2 years ago. Absolutely off my chops. I'll pick in Twitter of me. That is hilarious, Woodward. I'm assuming her 50th birthday party had to be absolutely crazy. What's up with the shareholder meeting? It's probably going on today with the vote. You had up to yesterday to vote. But remember, the big thing that why people were talking about it was because of the authorization for additional shares that could be used to dilute the stock. But that is no longer a proposal, not going to happen. No one voted on it, not going to happen. So there was just the leftover 4 proposals that I don't think are really, I guess, too contentious or anything like that. We love you. Please tell Kendall to make me another vodka, for I am busy super chatting, still not going to Honeydew Festival. I mean, it, I don't know. It's so weird that people want drama. Isn't that just like clout chasing? Isn't that the definition of clout chasing? Like he just wants me to respond or something? I haven't seen it and I'm not gonna watch it. It sounds like a horrendous waste of my time. I need to learn more about water polo and understand how they don't drown because it blows my mind. Um, that's a better use of my time on a personal level and also for the community, because I think we all want to know what's going on with water polo players and how they are able to, like, how do they survive a match? I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. Uh, Thoughts on Wish? I know some people were talking about it for some form of a short squeeze play. And hang on, let me look into it. Short interest is 7%. It's higher than normal, but not that high. It has half the short interest of AMC and GME, actually less than half of AMC. But in terms of its chart, we could check it out. So it's not a short squeeze play at all. But in terms of just a stock play, I mean, we might get another, like this could be a W. You get the double bottom, 875. So if you're okay with risking 875, 880, you could watch 1130 from there. You could watch 12. I mean, there's opportunity there. It's just, are you okay with risking 885? Are you okay with risking what, $1.50-ish from its current level? To me, it seems interesting, but do not look at it as a short squeeze play. If anything, you're looking at it as a technical bounce, really. Matt, do you expect from the shareholders meeting today anything special you'd like to hear? No, I think we'll hear more about the company from the official earnings announcement and not the shareholder meeting. I'm not expecting any, like, I don't know, groundbreaking announcements to be made from the shareholder meeting. Maybe it's possible. I just don't really think it. If anything, I think they would save the special announcements for the earnings call, if there were going to be anyone. Buy it's confirmed. Everyone buy into Which. Newbie trader here bought a stock at 10. It's at 52, all-time high region. Any strategy suggestions in general? CUTR. Well, first of all, congratulations on the awesome trade. You got in at 10. As in, you got it off, wow, 53 cents off its low ever. That's incredible. I don't know what this company does, but for you, it's trending in your favor. Like, let your winners ride. Patience. If I were you, like, you have so much leeway in this run. Just as long as it's continuing to trend in your direction, just let the stock do its thing. You're crushing it. That's how I would play it, at least. That's a good trade. You made $40. You made a 400% return. That's ridiculous. Good for you. Good for you. IWM still looking a bit weak. Look how similar these charts look. This is the 5-minute on the IWM, and this is the 5-minute on AMC right above it. Very, very similar. Very similar. Ooh, Robinhood did touch this line and it's bouncing off of it right now. Support. Let's see if it actually bounces or if it's going to crater through. Someone said Gensler tweet. Is this going to load? He already got verified? SMH. SMH. Already verified. What did he say? About 6 months ago, a stock went from 20 to 480 and then back down to 40, all in a matter of weeks. I think these events are part of a larger story about the intersection of finance and technology. When new technologies come along and change the face of finance, how do we continue to achieve our core public policy goals and ensure that the markets work for everyday investors? Huh. What's this all about? As we work to protect investors, maintain fair, orderly, and efficient markets, and facilitate capital formation, I'd like to highlight 7 factors that were at play in these volatile events: gamification and user experience, payment for order flow, equity market structure, short selling and market transparency, social media, market plumbing, clearance and settlement, system-wide risks. This winter's events also highlighted the rapidly changing face of social media and its intersection with our capital markets. Online forums can serve as a real community, expanding access and participation. On Reddit, individuals gather in online communities to discuss a variety of topics anonymously, including investing. A lot of people follow capital markets through various online communities, not only Reddit, but also there are other social media platforms and within trading apps. To be clear, I am not concerned about regular investors exercising their free speech online. I am more concerned about bad actors potentially taking advantage of influential platforms. Furthermore, it's not just retail investors or even humans who are following these online conversations, but institutional investors and their algorithms. Developments in machine learning, data analytics, and natural language processing have allowed sophisticated investors to monitor various forms of public communication to see relationships between words and prices. This practice called sentiment analysis. All right, so they did that. Overall, I mean, right here, to be clear, I am not concerned about regular investors exercising their free speech online. To me, that's a pretty straightforward comment. Let's see what he says about payment for order flow. Once again, this is from Gary Gensler, the SEC chairman. Why might brokerage firms want to increase customer trading? Who benefits from it? In the last few years, most retail broker-dealers have stopped charging fees for trades. Instead, some make money through other streams, including a process called payment for order flow. Robinhood publicly reported $331 million in payment from order flow revenues in their first quarter of this year, more than triple the amount it brought in during the first quarter of 2020. There are 2 kinds of payment for order flow I'd like to highlight: payments from wholesalers to brokers and from exchanges to market makers and to brokers. Here, I want to focus on payment from wholesalers to brokers. Here's how the process works. Retail broker-dealers enter into agreements with wholesalers. Which purchase their order flow. Unlike public exchanges, they must offer fair access to their publicly displayed quotes. These wholesalers can decide whether to execute these orders directly or to pass them along to be executed by the exchanges or to other trading venues. So right here, I saw a little bit of confusion. And this is a very small but important detail. The way payment for order flow is working is someone like Citadel Securities will pay someone like Robinhood to send them their orders. It goes directly to them. There's not a dark pool in between. Unlike public exchanges, this must offer fair access to their publicly displayed quotes. These wholesalers can decide whether to execute these orders directly. So someone like Citadel, the order gets sent from Robinhood to Citadel. They decide if they want to execute them directly, or they can pass them along to be executed by other exchanges such as the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, IEX. This is talking about lit exchanges or other trading venues such as dark pools. I just saw a little bit about this online. With payment for order flow directly from the brokerage to the market maker, and from there, they either execute it or they don't. If they don't, they could pass it off then to a dark pool. Payment for order flow, the first stop is not a dark pool. The first stop is the market maker, and then the market maker decides what they want to do with it. In addition, the wholesalers get valuable information from their order flow, and other market participants get it with a delay, if at all. In many aspects of the economy, from social media to search engines, access to data is a growing competitive advantage. Our capital markets are no different. So this is a huge thing. Players like Citadel Securities and Virtu have an incredible asymmetric information advantage, and they use that information for them to make more informed trades. And that's how they make so much money, is because they can see the entire chessboard, while retail traders like you and I, we can see like one little square of the entire chessboard. Higher volumes of trade generate more payments for order flow. This brings to mind a number of questions. Do broker dealers have inherent conflicts of interest? Many people, myself included, would say yes, obviously. If so, are customers getting best execution in the context of that conflict? So this, I like how this is worded, because if so, are customers getting best execution in context of that conflict? So this is why I really, really like this. So here's what's happening. You have, I know there's multiple market makers, but let's just focus. In this example, let me just use Robinhood and let me use Citadel Securities. What happens when the orders are getting sent to Citadel Securities and they have an asymmetric information advantage? What they are doing is they've segmented the entire retail trading. And that means on these other things, like you have dark pools, you have lit exchanges, all you have left over are highly competitive players, such as other market makers, other hedge funds. And also then you have things like pension funds and ETFs and that thing. But the retail public, like if right now, if you're just listening and you're buying and selling, payment for order flow segments that entire thing and that entire group, which means that the other venues have a widened bid-ask spread because they're more competitive. So for market makers to still make profit on it, they don't want to take as much risk because they know it's a highly competitive environment. You see the bid and ask spread actually getting wider. So what they do in terms of payment for order flow is they base it on the relative, I guess, comparison to exchanges. And they're like, well, hey, look at how wide that is. We are giving you better executions, like, I guess, in terms of the NBBO, the National Best Bid and Offer. So they argue, hey, if you're retail, we're actually giving you a better execution. But what they don't tell you is the reason they're giving you a better execution is because they drug everything already down. Instead of actually making it better, they made it relatively better to something that they, by their own functionality, made worse. And that's in reference to spreading the bid ask, the bid and the ask. So I like how they said it. Customers getting best execution in context of that conflict. They are causing their own conflict. I think it's great that they said it that way. Are broker dealers incentivized to encourage customers to trade more frequently than it is? Well, of course, yeah. What are the policy implications with regards to the data aggregated by the purchases of order flow? This is very good. Are they disclosing that data to someone else, or are they only using it to actually execute trades? I don't have FINRA or SEC investigations as like legal cases, but I would hypothesize and theorize that they're using this data for more than just non-public information. I'm assuming they're using it in other ways to make even more money, just my guess. And the reason I'm guessing that is because this is Wall Street, folks, and they do whatever they can to increase their own bottom line. These questions, while not new, were highlighted in the SEC's recent settlement enforcement action against Robinhood. As described in the commission's order, certain principal trading firms seeking to attract Robinhood's order flow told them was a trade-off between payment for order flow and price improvement for customers. Order flow told them that there was a trade-off between payment for order flow and price improvement for customers. Robinhood explicitly offered to accept less price improvement for its customers in exchange for receiving higher payment for order flow for itself. Whoa, that's actually a big deal. Robinhood explicitly offered to accept less price improvement for its customers in exchange for receiving higher payment for order flow for itself. Wow. As a result, many Robinhood customers shouldered the cost of their inferior executions. These costs might have exceeded any savings they might have had, though they had gotten them for a zero commission. Finally, it's interesting to note that neither the United Kingdom nor Canada permits broker-dealers to route retail orders to off-exchange market makers in return for payments. So basically, United Kingdom and Canada, no payment for order flow allowed at all. This is just, it's mind-blowing that this stuff is going on. Wow. So overall, I mean, there's many reasons to be against payment for order flow. And perhaps if you're listening now, you might be against payment for order flow for a different reason than I'm against it. And I guess I should make this clear. I, Matt Kohrs, right now, saying this live, against payment for order flow. I think we should get rid of payment for order flow. I think it's damaging to the markets at large, but you and I might be on the same side of this fight, and maybe we have different reasonings, but I don't know how to make this more clear. And I also, at minimum, want dark pools to just be more regulated. So I don't know how to make that more clear, but interesting. So that is stuff right from Gary Gensler himself. So let's look at this when people are talking about fundamentals. Is Robinhood something fundamentally you want to get invested in? And I get it. Before we all just get emotional and say like, hang on, they screwed us over. Like that's more of an emotional driver. I'm saying like, let's look at its business model. Like let's actually have a good fundamental discussion about Robinhood. I hear all of these people arguing about AMC and GME, that they're fundamentally overvalued. How would you possibly get into it? And then they look at certain business risks. Like let's use AMC as an example of like, okay, if the world goes into lockdown again, do we really want to like, should you fundamentally be invested in a movie theater that requires people to not be locked down and to go to the movie theater? So similar to that, let's take a look at Robinhood. Well, we know from HR 4617, which is a bill that's currently in, I think, committee, they might outlaw payment for order flow. So that's the main business driver of Robinhood. I mean, right here, he even said it. Publicly reported 331 million in payment for order flow. Do you think it's a good fundamental investment to invest in a company that their form of income could be outlawed? For me, that's a no for me. I'm not going to invest in something where there could be a law passed that literally outlaws their income. They would have to completely change their entire business model. And so why would I do that? That's a crazy risk, especially now how much of a light is being shown on payment for order flow. Why would I invest in a company that for the company to do well, it still needs payment for order flow? The one thing that like could actually be disappearing. Seems absolutely wild. And then, hang on, I think this is even more, Dave Lauer put it well. Right here. Robinhood opens at 38, then tumbles more than 5%. I guess providing piss poor execution quality with the prospect of your business model being outlawed isn't a great look. Very true. Very true. So, for me, it's just why would I get into it when like its income could just disappear? It seems silly to me. Someone said he was talking about it like it was a good thing. The only people that talk about payment for order flow as if it's a good thing are the people who are utilizing payment for order flow, as in our market makers. The two entities in this world that are going to talk about how good payment for order flow is Virtu and Citadel, and then also the political people who are going to get donations from super PACs that are funded by Wall Street, as in Virtu and Citadel. That those three people, those three groups are the people who are going to like payment for order flow. Citadel Securities, Virtu, whatever their official name is, and all of the political people who get very hefty, juicy donations to their campaign from those first two entities. Those are the three people who are going to say, yeah, no, we like payment for order flow. It's like a clothing store upping the price of something, then putting it on sale, saying, look how much money we can save you. It's exactly that. It's a shirt being $50. and then it gets up to $100, and they're like, oh no, we'll give you a 25% discount. And people are like, well, check this out, it's a 25% discount. But at the end of the day, you're still paying more. You're now still paying $75 when it should be $50. That's a great great one. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. Just a hunch, but what if the price on the ticker is for synthetic shares and secondary book people are talking about the real share of AMC? That's just not how it works. Just a hunch, but what if the price on the ticker? This right here, what you're seeing, 38.44, is the price for all AMC shares. Legal, legitimate shares and also the counterfeit synthetic shares are all trading at 38.43. There's no like second book that I just, it's just not how there is. I don't even know. I don't know how do you disprove a negative? Like if I were to say there's a giant invisible duck watching over the world, like some giant, huge, monstrous duck that's watching over the planet, and you just can't see it because it's invisible. Well, like you can't disprove a negative. Like, okay, you would have to do it this other way. I would need to see proof that there is a secondary book. Like someone would have to, like, that's the scientific method. You have a theory and then something that's testable, but you cannot disprove a negative. That's like the opposite. Like you can't, that's not, I guess, how the scientific method works, because that's not testable. How can you test something that is just like not there? Like if you just say, like, I mean, I could just start one now. Okay, so people are saying that this price that you see right here is 38.39, and then there's a real price with the secondary book. Okay, cool. I'll bring it up the next level. I'm arguing that there's a third book that is the first book's multiplied by the second book, and then someone's keeping track of it all in a third book. I just started that right now, and okay, just someone disprove me. You can't disprove a negative. Since we purchase shares not knowing whether they are synthetic or real, all shares must be treated the same in value to uphold the integrity of the stock market. Well, the issue is, yeah, sort of, but the issue is we shouldn't have any counterfeit shares. There should be no synthetic shares. And then that's when we're getting into this mess between prime brokers and market makers and what they can and can't do, and the way that they're finding loopholes. And even when they get caught, they're paying a very small fine and they don't really care about it. But overall, okay, here, let me put it this way. And this is actually from a Trey video, and I think he just worded it very well. If 38.47 is not the real price, like, let me just hang on. Let's dive into this. Let's for some reason think that this is not the real price. Does it matter at all to you or to me if we can't trade at any other price? Like if I told you that the real price was whatever, if it was just different, well, what good would that do you if you can't buy or sell at any other price besides 38.45? Like very honestly, like to us, it's the real price because it's the price we're allowed to buy and sell at. And a secondary like logical issue with this real price deal is, why would anyone buy it for a more expensive price when apparently you can buy it for the not real price for cheaper? I mean, all these people, like who would ever, right now, would I love to sell AMC for a gazillion dollars? Yeah, but there's no market for it. Like no one's going to actually buy that when they're like, why would I do that when I could buy AMC at 38.48? If you're trying to buy a new pair of shoes, the exact same pair of shoes, and one store is selling it for $1,000, those pair of shoes, and the next store is selling it for $100, and they're the exact same shoes, wouldn't you just go buy it for $100 then instead of $1,000? Like it doesn't really hold logic. It doesn't pass the litmus test of logic for like two very important reasons. Christian Bale could prove a negative. If you said there was a giant invisible duck watching the world, I'd say, damn, that's rad. So much for a company called Robinhood. Yeah, right. More like steal from the poor, give to the rich. I mean, what's funny is that like is literally what they did. Robinhood explicitly offered to accept less price improvement for its customers in exchange for receiving higher payment for order flow for itself. That is exactly, perfectly the inverse of the ethos of the mythological story of Robinhood. Explicitly offered to accept less price improvement for us, as in taking money from us to make more money for itself. That is the perfect inverse of Robinhood. That's just wild. Would you rather buy a real car title or a photocopied car title? Well, obviously a real car title, but the issue here is when you're buying it, in this scenario, that analogy or the metaphor, you don't know which is which. Like, you're not going to be able to tell. And the shares of AMC you own or I own, some of them might be synthetic, some of them might be real, or it might be a combo of the two. That is a possibility. But even if you own a synthetic share, if somehow you were the unlucky person that bought shares from a naked short, which is like that could be what you own, that's possible. That doesn't mean that you don't own AMC. You own it and you're going to own it at the price and you can sell it. It's not like they're going to be taken away from you and be like, oh, sorry, these were counterfeit. That's not how it's going to work. So the analogy falls apart a little bit. I see what you're saying. But even in your scenario of if you own a photocopied thing of a car title, in this scenario, that would still give you the legal ownership of a car. So it's not like if you do own synthetic shares, you're going to be able to buy more. You're going to be able to sell the ones you currently have. They're not going to be ripped away from you and saying, oh, sorry, these were actually counterfeit. And I think that's good for everyone to know, because I don't want anyone freaking out and be like, well, what if mine are fake? Like, do I still own AMC? You still own AMC. If you have a chance, can I get an order of MMAT short interest? MMAT. Yeah, sure. I'll do it right now. MMAT. Uh, 6.43% according to Ortex. Water polo players can tread water for hours. It's so impressive. I would cramp up and end up drowning, I would assume. It's like buying a coin with a COA saying it's real silver, but finding out it's a nickel even though you have a COA. Steal from the poor, become the rich. Yeah, I feel like who's that? The sheriff of Nottingham in the story. So what this particular Robin Hood story is Robin Hood ran around to all the villages, got the information of the people who didn't pay taxes and found out where they live and what they're doing, and then gave all of that information over to the sheriff of Nottingham, and the sheriff of Nottingham gave them a cut of all the money that they just took from everyone. That's kind of like the best way I could tie it back to the story. This like rogue Robin Hood sold all the information to the sheriff, and the sheriff gave them a cut of the money that they took. If I hear someone else say that there's another price somewhere, I'm going to slap some random person on the street. Mr. Boule. The $100 is a synthetic shoe. You can never tell me any different. AMC volume 53 million, dark pool 45 million. Shady things are done in dark. Suspend dark pool 30 days. SEC, do your job. So overall, yeah. And I thought I made my stance on this very clear. Dark pools, by definition, are a less regulated environment than a lit exchange. There is no way. What's the current numbers? let's just say it's 80%. I mean, yeah, let's say 80% today, roughly. There's no way to have that high majority of trading. How could that be good if it's done in a less regulated environment? To me, that does not make sense that you could have such a high majority in an environment, in a trading on a particular venue that is by definition less regulated. That just means with such an immense amount of trades, it's just more opportunity for shenanigans going on that should not be happening. I don't know. To me, it should be capped at a certain level, or the regulation should be tightened up or something, but I don't see how it's not good. It's either neutral to negative. Neutral at best case, but most likely negative when you have such an immense amount of volume, especially when it's such a high amount of small block trades. It's not being necessarily used in the way they're initially pitched of, hey, this is for big investors to not scare away other market participants, to increase market efficiency, to increase liquidity. Okay, yeah, I can get behind that. So let me see the proof of all these large block trades. But if you look at it, it's not large block trades. It's an immense amount of small block trades, which is very, very descriptive of high frequency trading. I just don't see how that could be good for the overall market system. So I would definitely like an official SEC review of them to kind of understand how they're now being used, because obviously it's being deviated from like the initial concept of dark pools. Is this squeeze inevitable? No, nothing is guaranteed in the stock market. I'm still betting on it personally, but you cannot go into anything with the stock market thinking that there's going to be 100% certainty. Like the stock market and like many aspects of life, there's risk in whatever you do. So I'm telling you, this is exactly why you should only be using money that won't like financially hurt your, I guess, financial health. It won't hurt your way of being. Obviously, there is risk in the market, so you have to respect that risk. If anyone out there is telling you that the squeeze is guaranteed, they're probably trying to sell you something, or they're trying to just get views. They're just trying to get likes. You cannot guarantee anything in life, and especially not in the stock market. Nikola CEO lied to investors. Can you check the chart? Think of a put. Yeah, so this came out a little bit ago. Trevor Milton lying. I mean, it's already down though. Oh, looks like it's going to keep falling. To me, it looks like it has another 80-cent drop, and I would want to see how it reacts to this low. If it breaks below that, it could fall even more to 10. Not a good sign, but you're also chasing a little bit because, I mean, it's been on the downtrend ever since June 29th. Someone says inevitable all the time. You shouldn't say inevitable. It is not. That's not a healthy way to think about this at all. If people are saying it's inevitable, I think you are underestimating one of the most well-funded, politically connected, and honestly intelligent opponents. And and I'm referring to Wall Street, as soon as you underestimate your opponent to that extreme of a degree, that's when our community is at its weakest. You have to have respect for your opponent, especially our current opponent, the literal Wall Street establishment that is, like I said, well-funded, politically connected, and financially motivated, and their egos are on the line. As soon as you start underestimating that and be like, oh no, we have this in the bag, that's literally when we're at our weakest then. We cannot get cocky like that. Robinhood goes villain. Batman trades water for a living, and water polo is apparently still a thing. Cool. I'm off to bed. Shout out, Emily. BT in January was 33. It follows BTC since it's a BTC mining company. It is in the US, so no overseas BS. Can we link up and let me know what you think? So a little bit earlier, I did BT if you just want to rewind a little bit. But for me, if I'm playing crypto, I'm just going to do it directly. I'll just get Bitcoin or Ethereum or something like that. I don't want to pay a mining company. If everything stays as it is, apes hold and occasionally buy. What could prevent the squeeze from happening if they have to buy shares? What could prevent it? What would prevent it is if the selling pressure outweighs the buying pressure. So if they continually find all of these shares to sell, and if the amount of selling is greater than the amount of buying in terms of supply, if the supply is greater than the demand, will keep the equilibrium, the price point lower. So it's a relative rate of the buying pressure versus the selling pressure. Is it inevitable that the shorts have to cover? Is that fair to say? I would say that's fair to say, because you can't carry the position on forever. If you carry it on forever, they would end up going bankrupt because they can't continually pay the cost to borrow fee. The short, yes, I would get behind that. I don't know. There's no theoretical way in which you could carry a short position forever because you'll eventually run out of money. Just remember that apes in a stock market where the narrative is king and determines data, you're all the heroes. Bad guys don't change. You are so right. Nothing is guaranteed. Death not guaranteed. Kristen Bale will live forever. All right, we'll check Ortex in a second. Hang on, I'm behind on some of these supers. One base irony versus millions of apes' life stories. Amen. Mine's a straight black. Thanks, Robinhood, you obvious intellectual lightweights. Their understanding of irony narrative is barely a popsicle stick. Ape version is crashing. Doge, the second Elon shows his face on SNL, and on May 9th, be with you. Perfectly imperfect. Burns, what are you going on about today? I'm a little lost. So let me get this straight. Synthetic shares are like phantom shares or ghost shares. They're all like ghost loads, because if so, I've seen that before. What's funny is phantom shares, that term, phantom shares, has actually been used before. If you look up on Investopedia and look up naked shorts, that's what they call the shares created from naked shorts, is actually phantom shares. Pirates? Is it inevitable that we will one day hit 6969? I think so. I would argue that that is inevitable. Why can't we join the shareholders meeting? I guess they just didn't post like a live link to it or something like that. But I mean, the earnings announcement is, in my opinion, like far more influential in terms of what they're going to say. This is just them discussing those proposals and be like, hey, we got this many votes. Did it pass? Oh, okay, it did. It didn't. On to the next one. One sell equals one buy, always equilibrium. How does it squeeze? Because it's the price that they're agreeing upon. Are the buyers and sellers agreeing on a higher and higher price, a lower and lower price, or the same price? And that's when I say about buying pressure outweighing selling pressure. Because if there's more demand than supply, they're agreeing on a lower and lower price. And if there's more demand than supply, that makes them agree on a higher and higher price because people are aggressively getting into the market. And if the supply outweighs the demand, that pushes it down because people are trying to aggressively leave the market. What do we have here? I don't see. Where are the supers? Hey, Matt, could you help me out with some TI and TAL? I grabbed it at $5. I see potential gap up now that the news is out. Thanks, man. Also, we need to cut out of your during midday break. That would confuse the hedgies. All right, let's look at TAL real quick. TAL. I mean, this one would be kind of a easy setup. First resistance is 958. Past that, you might get a gap fill, and I would use $4 as my risk. So if you're okay with risking $1.90, have at it. To me, that's a little bit too much of a risk. That's a high percentage risk, so I don't know if I really necessarily like the setup, but that's your support, and then your two main resistance levels. Payment for order flow, and we've been holding the float for months. Where are they getting the shares to utilize payment for order flow? You can only utilize payment for order flow if people are buying and selling. Well, people are buying and selling, and they're buying and selling quite a bit. They've bought 54.74 million today, and they've sold 54.74 million. Someone out there obviously has an appetite to actively trade AMC. Could be market makers, could be other high frequency traders, could be institutions, could be retail day traders. But out there to say that we own all of AMC, I mean, the fact that it's trading shows that we don't own all of AMC. Because if we owned all of it, no one would be buying it and no one would be selling it. It would just be the same price all day. So obviously there's shares out there that are being actively traded on a day-to-day basis. And today already we've traded 54 million shares, or a little bit over 10% of the outstanding float or outstanding shares. Power hour. Thoughts on Tesla? Looks strong. Looks like it's trying to run up to the high 690s, potentially 700. I am inevitable. Rewater polo, they pull each other down until they're above water. That's how they don't drown. Oh, I see what you're saying. That's did not know that. IWM. Stock lending allows purchase shares to be used for trading. Yeah, so that's what lending is. So, I mean, that's why I've decided to turn off my own lending. I don't want the shares I own to be lent out to a potential short, because if someone can short it, they sell it. So that's some volume. And then there's a new owner, and there's no saying what the new owner does. They can loan theirs out. They could just sell it. And like, that's another thing that can prompt volume and trading. That's why another reason why I have my own share lending turned off. They keep pushing us to vote. Today was the shareholder meeting, right? Yes, it was. Aren't we supposed to find out the share count? Why is this a private thing? Oh, we did find it out in June. That's when the share count happened, was in early June. And they posted that. They had an SEC filing, and Adam Aaron put it on Twitter. Can we ever own the whole float if they can just make more of the float whenever they want? Will that eventually stop that? So they make more float as a company when they do additional dilution. And right now they have no more authorization to dilute anymore. That's why people were very against this concept of authorizing an additional 25 million shares, because that increases the float and more shares that would be actively traded on the market. So we can own the float, but lend shares are what's fueling current volume. No, because we don't own 100% of the float. It is lent shares fueling the volume, but also we own 80% of the float as of early January. So there's that other 20%, which is 100 million shares. So we have 100 million shares that could be actively traded by non-apes. And then on top of that, also whatever the short shares are back on the market. So that's probably another 100 million, roughly, because we see how many shares are on loan. Let's just call it 100 million. So we have 100 million that the apes don't own as of early June. I would expect that we own more now, but let's ease of math. And then another 100 million of shares that went on loan. So minimum, that's 200 million shares. And like I said, that's not even then counting any naked shorts or counterfeit shares or anything like that. Devin's Law just said that institutional ownership is increasing. Devin's Law, it depends on who's selling it to them. It's not necessarily that apes gave it to the institutions. That could be institutions loading up from various forms of high frequency traders, including market makers. Company TM in the work today. Can't wait to see you. All will be clear soon. Good luck, Burns. Can you check Hyliion on Ortex? Yes. Ortex, HY. Hyliion. Is it going to load? Hyliion, which is a EV play for the trucking sector. It has a short interest of almost 21%. Oh, actually up to 22%. Huh. Shares on loan, 33 million. Yes, Hyliion does have shorts. Matt, what's your take on dedicated stock trading chat rooms with fees? I'm seeing some are upwards of $1,000 a year. Apparently, they filter trolls and provide access to their AI. It depends on them, on which one you're specifically referring to. I think a lot of them are scams, but I think there's a couple good ones out there. It depends. I would just recommend doing your actual research on it, like read people's reviews, because people are usually pretty honest about that stuff afterwards. So whatever one you are considering, if that's something you're interested in, just make sure you're reading reviews, doing your research to see if it's a good fit for you. Disney being sued for the way Black Widow was released. Yeah, we were talking about that. Scarlett Johansson suing them. Sounds like for 50 million. Can we ever own the whole float, or if they just make it up? So the ones making it up is still the company itself when they dilute, and right now they are not diluting. Well, they don't have the option to. No, Burns, that was not a lawyer related thing. That was just more of like a time thing. It's hard for 4 people with like our schedules to all coordinate to make it work out. Scarlett moving apish. All right, AMC 3812, GME 165.68. Robinhood, like I said, I think if it breaks down from there, the next stop is the mid 33s. I think this comes down another, I don't know, $1.50 at minimum. All right, I'm inevitable. Shout out, Targiota. I once got in trouble for cutting my wife's pizza into random geometric shapes. It's funny now. It was definitely not when it happened. Sounds like it's funny. Where's my coffee, folks? Hang on. Coffee. I need to go grab my coffee. Be right back. Back in the basement. Back in the basement. Hello, hello, hello. Are we supposed to get a share count today? The share count for the shareholder meeting was released in early June. Hi, Matt. Can you give some TA? I am BBIG. Not the biggest fan of this chart, but it does look like we're in some sort of bull flag that is trying to break out. So if I were you, if you want to be conservative, you could risk 314 or you could risk 296 for a little bit more leeway. First resistance right here at the key level of 4. And then from there, I would watch 450. On BBIG. Never heard of that one before. Man. Robinhood is about to barf, folks. Yo, McPoopoo. Why did you move AMC to the left? Stream was much better when it was on the right near your beautiful Scullius. I don't know. I just did it to see. Some people just like to watch the world burn. I knew. I wanted people to stay on their toes. And I think everyone got a little bit too comfortable with AMC being in the top right. And then other people have for a while been asking me to put it in the top left just because it's alphabetical. AMC, GME. So I was like, hey, let's try it out a little bit. Do you think the AMC meeting catalyst to go to 40 by tomorrow? No, I don't think that the shareholder meeting is going to function as a catalyst because I don't know what would come out of it that would be a catalyst. That's more of an earnings announcement thing. Of if they're like, hey, we're acquiring this company or we're doing this or doing that. I just don't think an announcement is going to come out of this particular meeting. Honestly, Matt, I still haven't forgiven you. Blazin Gaming, for what? For switching AMC and GME? If that's what it is, I haven't forgiven myself. I don't know if I ever will. Can you put AMC on the moon for us? When is hang on, I just looked up AMC's earnings earnings announcement. It's NASDAQ is saying August 5th. But I don't know if AMC themselves has confirmed it. Earnings announcement for AMC August 5th. And that's an estimation from the NASDAQ. I don't know if AMC as a company, it will probably be that day, but I don't know if AMC, like the board and the leadership team, has also confirmed that. What do you think about SPCE puts? Chart looks rough. So my Discord knows this, that I've been in SPCE puts for a bit now, and I'm getting chopped up. I don't know why. Like, I thought it would continue to fall. Oh, wait, it is coming down now. Maybe I'm back in profit. So this is my risk point. A couple days ago, I picked up some puts. As of now, they're costing me a lot of money, and I'm risking the $34 mark. And I'm looking to take profits. If we get this break below 28.50, I'm looking to take profits at 21 or 23.75. So probably like half at 23.75, maybe another quarter at 21.50, and then maybe let the next quarter try to run to 17. If it happens, that's my plan. That's this trading plan, and I'll cut the entire position for a loss if it goes above 33.90. So that's my risk. And then I've laid out my reward points here. That's how I'm personally playing it. And I think that's how any trade you should do should have like a laid out plan. That is my trading plan. Do I know if it's a good trading plan? No clue. Not a fortune teller, but I've been in this one for a bit now, and it's just the fact that it's not really moving. I'm getting burned pretty bad. Yeah, not the happiest with the play if I'm being honest. But who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky. Sometimes when it comes to trading, it's better to be lucky than it is skillful. This sentence is false. Can you approve or disprove? Hey, Matt, I had a question. If you purchased shares way back in January and February and you moved it to new brokers this month, can they switch your shares for synthetics? It wouldn't really matter because you still just own shares. Like no one ever really knows if they have a synthetic share. They're not tracked that way, which is another thing of why do we not have serialized shares? But when they switch it wouldn't have any impact on you, your life, your P&L if it gets switched from a real one to a synthetic one. Hey, Mark, how about a couple rockets on the AMC GME charts to help boost them up during these last few minutes? By the way, the legs are way below 6969. Probably not going to be hitting it today then. Thoughts on game theory on markets? Probably happens a lot. Like I think a lot of, well, I mean, even Ken Griffin was talking about how they use psychology, like so much. I mean, the market is completely like there's so much psychology and emotion in it. So I think game theory would be a realistic thing that people actively employ to make decisions. I wonder if Hood would stop the trading if they had to squeeze upward like they did for GME. They'd be like, no, 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 this is good. Too harmful, too dangerous. Oh, that's hilarious. Is it possible that certain brokers are running out of shares to give to new brokers during a transfer? Wouldn't that explain all the denied transfer requests? I just got off the phone with Fidelity about why my transfer hadn't gone through. Apparently, the fourth person that he talked to about transfers today could be that, because remember, brokers only have a certain pool of shares. So it could very well be that. If they've loaned too many out, they might not be able to facilitate your transfer. Very real possibility. Is that 100% what's going on? Well, I don't really know, but it definitely could theoretically be happening. All right, AMC bouncing off of 38 is at 38.40. Let's see if it goes green on the day. 38.90 is the red green move. About 50 cents to go. 40 cents to go. Trucking along. Matt, always great hanging with the crew. Enjoy the rest of the day. Shout out Joey Face. Have a good one. Would you be up for a boxing match with Claybro? You have Lou versus a father on the undercard. Claybro said he's up for it. Mortal Kombat. I would do it if Claybro also has like no ability to fight like myself. Like it would have to be an equal match, because if you put me in a ring or any fighting circumstance of people that know what they're doing, not gonna win. So we would have to be like equally horrible at it. And honestly, in that particular card fight, I mean, Claybro and myself, we would obviously be the undercard in that one. Like we all know the tickets being sold would be for the other people and not us. Hi Matt, funny question. Do you think Ken Griffin has ever seen or heard about you, frog hat and all? He's not getting a Christmas card from me. Uh, I I don't know. I wonder. Nah. Do you think that would be weird if they might? Maybe they do with some like media appearances. They very well might. Oh, someone said Clay Bros in here. Hey, if he can confirm that we're both just gonna look like dumbasses, like why not? A windmill slap fight. Not much of a fighter over here. I mean, my recommendation of if it were to happen, it would definitely be to buy puts on me. That's how like it would be. Uh, I'd probably bet against myself, even if I like was fighting my heart out. I still feel like the smart bunny would be on like the puts against me. What would happen if shareholder meeting they discovered there were more votes / shares than float? Um, so the question would be actually if there was more votes and shares more than the float plus the shorts. If that chunk you have outstanding shares and then you add in the chunk of like the reported shorts, if you exceed that number, that means something's going on that should not be going on. Dude in those sumo suits, that would be funny. Shorts don't have to cover. One time my uncle was wearing shorts and he sat on the couch and was not good. Nick, I don't know what's going on in your life, but it sounds fun. I went back to college for business management. I have an interview for intern as a financial advisor tomorrow. Never felt better about what I'm doing. Market equality. Eric, I hope you crush it. Best of luck. I wonder if Hood would stop trading if they had to squeeze upward. The sumo suits would be fun. All right, AMC 3830, GME 165.36. Robinhood bouncing off of 34.64, getting rejected by, I guess, the breakdown line. So it was resistance, then support, then a little bit of resistance, once again acting as resistance. If it doesn't recapture it, that is not a good sign for Hood, H-O-O-D. Someone said, why is the share count private? I mean, they released it at the start of June. There was an SEC filing and Adam Aaron tweeted it out. But I think people want this. So a share recount it's still going to only tell you like the legal, legitimate stuff. A share count does not have any information about naked shorts and counterfeit shares. Like that's more of like an SEC investigation to find out those numbers and look into the FTDs. Like a share count is not one of these things. A share count doesn't magically give you the information we want about naked shorts. That's not the mechanism we would be looking for. And we kind of just know that because of early June. Early June told us the numbers we already kind of knew, and then just kind of the tranches within it of retail versus institutional, like, and that, which is useful information, but a share count is not the thing that tells you about naked shorts. Trades Clips, shout out. Oh, Trades Clips that you just joined up. We thank you for having the Charles Payne. We had to rewind it today to find the Stephanie cameraman. How to know if we're buying naked shorted shares? You don't know because you're just buying, and it depends on who's on the other side of the selling. It could be a naked short, it could be someone exiting a position, or it could be a legal, legitimate short. All you really know is that someone is selling, and you're the person buying in that scenario. We should pull a hedgy and short Hood into oblivion, short Robinhood. You can do, I guess, what you want. Personally, I have no Robinhood position. Whatever you end up doing, I hope you make a buttload of money. When will you interview Dave Lauer? I'm going to interview him tomorrow and then post it on Saturday. Talk about the share count today and how that has now been turned to a private count. Wait, so they did, wait. A lot of people are saying they did another count today and it's private. This is news to me. I thought when everyone was referring to the share count, they were referring to the one from early June. They did an additional share count. Can someone in Discord clarify that to me? I feel like I'm missing out on a piece of news that must have happened. Because that seems really weird to me. If it's true that they did another count today and are refusing to release it, what would that even mean? Why would they not release it? Why would that be private? That if true, which I'm trying to get this now live, that seems weird. How do you not know this? Because when I was reading about the share count, I just assumed it was the June 2nd one. They did it at 3 p.m. Oh, well, right there. The meeting adjourned. No AMC share count. So someone, like, they specifically said, okay, no, the vote is different from the share count because not everyone has to vote. So, like, the vote number could be severely under the amount of outstanding shares. Hang on. What? No. So other people are saying there is no new count. Now I think I'm confused now because I didn't think there was a new count or anything like that. Of course, there's a vote, but a vote, not everyone has to vote, even if you own shares. People are now just saying it's FUD. If taking legal action might not be able to say, oh, okay, no, that's a very good point. So why, if one of us use counterfeit money, we get caught and we go to federal prison, no time. But if hedge funds make synthetics, it's okay. Please help me. I mean, that's what a lot of people are trying to point out if you do that, you spend time in prison. But on Wall Street, they're just like, oh. With 350K plus subs, if you don't think Ken Griffin has employees watching your every stream every day, you are kidding yourself. Devin's Law. I mean, I see what you're saying, but like, oh man, it cracks me up. Listen, there's 12.5 thousand people watching now. If one of you 12.5 thousand is a Citadel employee, manager, director, intern, lunch lady, I don't know. I am so sorry that this has become your life. Because of your bosses, they're like, hey, if you want to get your paycheck, you have to watch this Matt Kohrs kid on YouTube. I know you didn't sign up for this. I know you're just trying to get your paycheck and you're probably like, I'm trying to get these credits for college, man. My dad wants me. My uncle got me this job and I'm just trying to make him happy. I'm sorry. I really am that you have to listen to like my bullshit antics all day. Folks, like just a moment of silence for like the one person at Citadel that this is like now their job, that they have to hear me go on about stuff. Not a hedge fund. Don't look at me. I'm clearly not a hedge fund. It appears Lou dropped a video with that as a title, not the most reputable if that's the source. Oh, okay. Like I don't really, on this end of it, folks, I am not consuming that much. Like I consume minimal YouTube. I just don't have the time. I'm not like really staying up to date on other creators. They can do what they want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do, but I have not heard about, wait, did it just really freeze after I went on a Citadel thing? All right. People are just saying it's FUD. It sounds like it's FUD, this like extra count. I didn't hear of an extra count, which I'm not saying I hear of everything, but they also wouldn't release if it's not interfere with an SEC investigation. Also strong possibility. Is it possible to take a hedge net worth divided by the average borrowed shares X, I don't know, 2 months in bankruptcy of a hedge shorting? Is it possible? I don't think that's exactly how the math would work out, Mr. Core. Can you go on SSR as an IPO? I believe so, Lucas. Yeah. I found my wife's hair while painting at my customer's house earlier. My wife is worse than your girlfriend. Matt, you are the best. I have Robinhood and want to transfer, but I don't know what other platform to use. I know you are not a financial advisor, but what other platform would you personally use? So if you're looking to avoid payment for order flow, and I'm assuming you're in the US, it seems like one that's pretty popular right now is Fidelity, because you can route your orders if you have Active Trader Pro. And then another one that we were talking about earlier today that does not accept payment for order flow is Public, Public. So those are two of I know now that like do not engage in payment for order flow. Plot twist, Citadel employee is an ape. There are only others to be happy about your daily breaks. Ding, ding, ding. The casino is closed, folks. Another day in the books. According to Webull, AMC is at 38.10. GME is at 164.80. Robinhood closed down the day, a drop of 8%. If I had to throw out a guess tomorrow, I think it's going to be another day for the hood getting taken to the hood, the woodshed. Oh, folks, that is it. Thanks for you guys really lifted my spirits today. It was a fun day. I appreciate it. Hang on. Ooh, wait, what is this? Results of the meeting will be filed with the SEC within a day or two of the final votes being certified. Be safe and well. Thank you. And then this is from the VP. Who is this? Vice President of Investor Relations, John Merriweather. With respect to AMC, I'll repeat that. Results of the meeting will be filed with the SEC within a day or two of the final votes being certified. So whatever these results are, it sounds like they're coming out in a day or two in official SEC filing. Folks, thank you. Great time with all of you today. I will see you tomorrow. So tomorrow, Friday, I'm streaming 9 to 11, 2 to 4, midday on the other channel. I'll just have the charts up with some background music. Midday, while that's going on, I'll be doing an interview with Dave, and then I'll be posting it. And I want to clip all the individual important questions. So be on the lookout for that sometime this weekend to get posted. It'll be all about dark pools, all about payment for order flow, and I'll get your questions answered. So thank you so much. And I will be posting an update video tonight. Will I be doing that? Oh, no. In about an hour, I'm going to be on Fox talking about Robinhood. So if you want to check that out, we'll see if we can get it streaming or something from maybe the other channel, or we'll clip it and get it posted, but we'll figure it out. Thank you so much for all the support. And remember, from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.